Hello, this is Ted Burns, and I'm Senior Director of Political Affairs for RADPAC with the American College of Radiology. And today we're doing something a little different. We're doing kind of a combination of things. It's a combination of the RADPAC contribution to the GR webinar series, along with a RADVOCACY podcast hosted by RADPAC special episode. So that's like a huge mouthful there. But we're really excited and honored to have Dr. Mary Scanlon joining us today for our episode. By far and away the most tenured person on our RADPAC board. She's been treasurer for many years now, and we're super appreciative of all that she's done over the years. She kind of helped ensure that we're not in jail and that we're in compliance with all of our fundraising. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about her background, her advocacy journey, her involvement with RADPAC, her involvement with grassroots, going to the Hill, a whole bunch of topics we're going to talk about with her. And so, Dr. Scanlon, welcome to our podcast.
Oh, thank you, Ted, for inviting me. I'm honored to be here. And I think that tenured thing sounds like I'm really old. So you have to watch that.
I didn't say like most senior or anything like that. I just said most tenured. As far as half of our board is like new. So, I mean, that's, why don't we get started? Because I know many folks in the ACR community, most of the people who are probably going to be watching or listening, definitely know you or know your name. You've been, very active with both the ACR and, of course, the Pennsylvania Radiological Society. But kind of walk us through your training. I think it's interesting for people to hear kind of where our folks started in their medical career training and then where they're currently at. So if you could give us your background and where you are professionally.
All right, absolutely. Well, I'm a Philadelphia girl. So I was born and raised here and never left. I went to Villanova. I went to Medical College of Pennsylvania. I did my residency at Albert Einstein in Philadelphia, where I was actually born. And I was there for the first 10 years of my career. And then I moved to the Penn system. And I've been at Penn for now 30 years. And I'm the residency program director and the vice chair of education. And I practice neuroradiology. And I must say, being the residency program director is the absolute best job in the whole world, outside of being an advocate for RADPAC and ACR.
Well, since you mentioned RADPAC and ACR and being an advocate, can you tell us a little bit more about what sparked your initial interest in getting involved in advocacy?
Well, absolutely. So that was the culture of Einstein. So that was my first chair. And my first chair is like he instilled that in all of us, that you go to meetings, you join organizations, and you participate and give back. And so that's how I was raised. And that's what I try to do here at Penn. So that's also one of our program aims. And I just finished doing an interview session for our residency. And I said, basically after the 4 years you're here, I want you to really understand the importance of organizational and political activism when it comes to radiology. So it started way back with my first chair.
I think that's super cool because that's not always the culture within a lot of academic programs. A lot of academic programs that I'm aware of also try to stay away purposely from that. And understandably, they don't want to get involved in the political back and forth. But I think you instilling, as you have over the years with all of your trainees, just the value of getting engaged is super important, and we're very appreciative. So I don't know the answer to this as far as how we got you involved as the treasurer of RADPAC. I don't know if we just gave you the short straw, or if you volunteered. I don't really remember going back. But tell us kind of about your duties with RADPAC treasurer role that you serve.
Okay, so the big thing is I respond to the emails that I get on a regular basis that usually say I have a 30-minute turnaround time, or no, more than that. And so, that's just basically opening up and reviewing what the submission is going to be to the FTC and making sure all the numbers sort of add up and things look right and sending it back so it can be submitted in a timely fashion. So your team does such a great job, makes my job really easy.
So going off of your time on the board, what would you say has been the most rewarding part and which part has been the most challenging part?
Okay, I think the most rewarding is getting to work with you guys. That's just epic. So I enjoy.
Likewise.
I enjoy working with you guys. I love working with the board members. There's a lot of cool people that you get to interact with and learn from, if you will. The thing I really like are our retreats. We've been having them at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, and just to learn from the experts how to make that ask, because that's not something that's really very easy for people to do, is to know how to ask people for support and for money. And I really enjoy learning how to do that from you all.
Well, you say it's not easy, but it's kind of what you're known for. So talk about more specifically, we referenced it a little bit about that was the culture, where you are as far as really getting the trainees to understand, the value of advocacy and RADPAC, but talk about the challenges a little bit more specifically, trying to get those folks to give, and then also some of the successes, and really even not just in the academic department, but also with the chapter itself. You're obviously very involved with the PRS, the Pennsylvania Radiological Society, and that kind of has its own host of challenges. And then also you've had a ton of success in some of the things that you've done with that.
Yeah, well, I think some of my success is that I'm shameless. And, I'm like a squeaky wheel, and I keep on asking, and I don't mind being told no, and I'm going to walk around and hand people applications. My favorite thing now is to walk around with a QR code, because here, scan this. It's really easy, give money. And you guys you really help us a lot with giving us the sound bites, if you will, that this is the return on your investment, like giving $100, nothing compared to what you all have done on the Hill with legislation and saving the billions in cuts that help us take better care of our patients. So, and let's see, what else can I answer about?
I think challenges in the academic setting. I think that's really something that, there's a variety of reasons that it's harder to solicit or get support financially for RADPAC from the academic departments. But what have you experienced? What have you seen, and kind of how you've been able to approach some of those?
Well, there are definitely challenges, and it's not something that the department supports, if you will, but the department allows me to walk around and ask people for money. It does allow me to include that in one of our program aims. It is something that we do with our first-year residents in our How to Be an Awesome Radiology 2-week course we do. It's known as HIPBAR, or How to Be an Academic Radiologist. And so it's, Ted, you've come on at least on a yearly basis and really get the residents excited. So it is hard in academic. You just have to push your agenda sort of below the radar, to be honest. One thing I do like to do is I pay for 2 rooms for residents in my program to come down to the ACR meeting. And so 2 rooms, and I don't ask the boys or girls, but it's 2 rooms. And I've been doing that for years because I think it's really important to get them down for that weekend to come to the RFS section. And then I'm always very excited when I can get them to stay to go on the Hill visit, because I think that's one of the most exciting things to do.
So we've talked a lot about raising money and the value and importance of RADPAC support. You've been on the other side of that too. You've participated in many fundraising events. You and I have gone to a bunch over the years. I think for Kevin McCarthy and Joe Pitts. I know you've gone to some more recently with a congresswoman who actually shares your exact name, which is kind of funny. But tell us about that, kind of the value you've seen and felt being there firsthand, and kind of giving your perspective. Because the way I always explain it to a lot of our members who we ask to do these types of things is, we like to think that we're pretty decent at our job in DC. We've got good relationships, and that we, especially our lobbyists, really know the issues really well. But nothing can quite take the place of someone who is a subject matter expert because they do it themselves. We don't practice medicine. You practice medicine. Firsthand kind of all the different intricacies involved and how a policy is going to impact the practice of radiology. So just talk about it from your experiences with some of those events, because that's kind of the other side of it that is probably not as well known about by most of our members.
Okay, well, I'm a basic party girl, so send me to a party, I'm happy. And I come with check, so that's even better. So I very much enjoy going to them, the different fundraisers, be it in restaurants or be it in law offices, if you will. And, getting that face-to-face time with the representative is great. That's usually, that's usually brief, but really behind the scenes, getting to talk to the staffers is really where I think I have the biggest impact, is to talk to them and they ask questions and I can explain things to them. And so they hear it firsthand from the horse's mouth, if you will. So that I do enjoy that. And your reference to Mary Scanlon, like, that's the most fun in the whole world, right?
Right.
When she became representative, and, every year we go to the Hill, or we have been going to the Hill before COVID, but just to call her office and say, this is Mary Scanlon, wanting to make an appointment with Mary Scanlon is epic. And I've gotten to meet her a couple times, thanks to you. And thanks to you, we gave her a tour of our Penn facility, Penn at Radnor. And that was wonderful as well, just walking her around and talking to her and showing, the great facility that's in her district.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like we've got a really good relationship and we've dealt with each other for years. Obviously, both, very proud to be from the Philadelphia area and all those things. And I remember when I first saw that there was a candidate named Mary Scanlon running for office, I was so furious that you would not have told me first
right.
that you were going to run for office. And I said, I cannot believe that she's doing this without any kind of consultation or anything with us. And then obviously it was an imposter, Mary Scanlon, not you. But no, that's been really cool that you've been able to do that. And I think also kind of how it connects with you going to the Hill, right? So it's not just a one-time event. I mean, for all these events that you've attended on our behalf, you've also been going to the Hill for those offices over all the years. And you reference building the relationship just as much with the staffers as you have with the members. And I think that's really important to kind of connect all those dots, because the member of Congress is not always going to be available all the time, obviously. They're very high demand and they're very busy. But if you have access to the staff and people kind of know who you are in the community because of those things, then I think that's really critical. We talked a little bit about the Pennsylvania Radiological Society and your efforts with them. And I kind of probably know the answer to this because you and I have talked about this for years. But being on the RADPAC board for a while now, what are some of your goals, not just really for the 30,000-foot RADPAC view, but more specifically for the Pennsylvania Radiological Society or even within your department?
Well, my ultimate goal is that elusive getting 20% of the rest of radiologists in this state to give. And so I have yet to achieve that. I think the closest I got was 18%. I now have the list of all the people who haven't given so far this year, who have given in the past. And so I'm going to be after them, be it email, or the other thing I've taken to do is texting people, and I find that is, probably more effective than emailing folks. So I wish that database would include everybody's telephone numbers. I didn't have to dig as much.
We're
trying.
Yeah. So
I will commit to this. Obviously, we contribute to RADPAC as well. Many of those on our staff. But if Pennsylvania is one contributor away, then I will make a contribution and put in my old home address, which will probably drive Haley crazy for our database purposes, just so you can make sure that you get that 20%. So I want to kind of ask you this question. It's not one that we really talk about a lot, but it came up at RSNA. We were all just recently at RSNA. Had a whole bunch of conversations with some of our new board members, which was kind of cool and reinvigorating to kind of see like their perspective on things. And one of the new board members asked me was like, what's been your favorite gala we've ever done? What's been your favorite RADPAC event? So then I was like, I wonder for Dr. Scanlon, she's been to probably almost every gala we've ever done. And we've done a lot of cool things. We've done a variety of different types of programs and venues. What would you say is like your top one or two events, galas that we've had?
Okay, well, that's easy. So I love the zoo. The zoo was epic. That was so much fun walking around there. And then we did the cruise. I enjoyed the cruise.
Right, I forgot about that.
That was good. And the Spy Museum, that was fun. But I'm more of a zoo girl and a cruise girl.
Okay.
So it's been good. And then we had one at the Catholic University, or at the cathedral.
The National Cathedral, right.
National Cathedral. That was beautiful as well.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed them all.
Well, hopefully your next favorite one is going to be the casino night that we're doing in 2023.
Absolutely.
That'll be very fun for everyone who hasn't been to a gala yet or has been previously to kind of switch things up. It'll be really fun.
Well, I look forward to it.
So I know you've kind of talked about how you are really big on getting your residents involved, and thank you for all those efforts. I mean, like you said, once you get started at the beginning, it's pretty easy to, or hopefully it's easy to keep them going rather than getting them started later on in their careers. But what would you say is, if you had to give advice to someone who's interested in getting involved with advocacy, what would you say is the easiest or quickest or best way to start?
Okay, very good question. I think the best way is to come down to the ACR meeting in the spring, be there, and then go to the Hill. I think once you go to the Hill, that gets you hooked. There's nothing like walking around those corridors or going in the tunnels, even going to the gift shop. But I've been known to get Christmas presents there. So I think going to the ACR meeting and your first time on the Hill, you'll get you hooked.
Yeah, it's interesting. This year we had our annual meeting. It was the first since COVID, but we did not do a Hill Day. And we had a lot of people, understandably, came to our booth and said, hey, how come we're not doing an in-person Hill Day? And when are we going to do it? Are we going to do it next year? And we're getting a ton of questions about 2023, and we are going to do a Hill Day in 2023. We're very excited about it. We're locked in. We just got the congressional calendar. They're going to be in the week that we're doing the annual meeting in DC, so everything matches up, and we're super excited. But that is something where it's a long, tiring day. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort running around. But there's nothing like seeing how energized the radiologists are after a meeting on the Hill, and they come back and they give us all the feedback, and it's just such a great, cool experience. So I'm really excited that we're going to be able to do it again next year. And I totally agree with you. It's probably one of the things that separates us more than anything else in radiology. There's a ton of different radiological organizations out there, but that's kind of the one thing that I think the fact that we can do 500 radiologists on the Hill at one time is such a big visible presence on the Hill, which is something that you just can't replace. It's awesome.
I agree.
So, we want to be respectful of your time, and we certainly appreciate your time. Usually when we do these podcasts, we like to do what we call a lightning round of questions just for fun. Kind of how I started this, we like to also show not just what the guest has done professionally and why they're involved in advocacy and some of their successes and things like that, but kind of give a glimpse into who they are as a person. I always joke that poor Dr. Bello is never going to live this down, but when we did a podcast with her and I asked her her favorite food and she said hamburger, I was like floored. I couldn't believe it. So but now every time I see her, I tease her about a hamburger. So it's kind of fun to get a different side of our guests. And so we're just going to ask a few quick questions, try to give the first answer that comes to mind, and we'll see how this plays out. This could be pretty fun. So, favorite food?
Fried chicken. Is that okay? Does that rank up there with hamburger?
No, fried chicken. A little surprising as someone from Philadelphia area, and you being from Philadelphia, but fried chicken is delicious. So I'm not going to tease you on it.
Okay.
I would say favorite place to travel. Where would you throw in the mix for that?
Where would I? Probably down to Sanibel. Used to go there all the time with the family and visit friends down there. So Sanibel.
Okay. Favorite non-RADPAC, non-ACR advocacy hobby?
Oh, cooking.
Oh.
That was my other career choice. I was either going to be a chef or a doctor, and I thought the hours were worse being a chef. Now that's proved to be wrong. but a chef.
Now, is that something that you still do a lot? You still enjoy over the years, or?
Absolutely. I'm doing a little less, but before I used to do a lot of cooking, and I enjoy making recipes. I follow recipes to the T. Like my girlfriend, she doesn't follow anything, and she looks at me like, "Why are you doing this?" But to a T, I follow recipes.
Are you measuring out the tablespoon of oil?
Oh, yes.
Oh my!
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah.
You don't do it. You don't do it just by feel or taste, huh?
No. Everything is measured.
It's very analytical. It makes sense.
So, what would be favorite quote, favorite saying? It could be a really well-known one, famous one. It could be just something unique to you and your family that you use all the time, or people can hear you saying all the time.
Well, let's say every morning I get up and I say, there's nothing I can't do and there's nothing I can't handle today. So I say that to myself every morning.
Wow. Do you really?
I do.
That's super cool. That's great. I mean, it's short, sweet, to the point, right?
Yep.
I think the consistency of that message, too, to be able to kind of hammer that in every day, that's a pretty cool way to start your day. So, well, Dr. Scanlon, I want to thank you for your time, for doing this. Thank you for your time with all you do for us, RADPAC, and going to the Hill and everything like that. I hope you don't think we take you for granted. We don't, at least internally, we don't. We super appreciative of all your efforts. And if we could somehow clone you in every department throughout the country and in every state, man, we would be hitting 20% everywhere. So thank you for everything. And please continue to invite me up to that first year resident thing. What is it? What do you call it? The first
HIP bar, how to be an academic radiologist or how to be an awesome radiologist.
How to be an awesome radiologist. I love it. I've gone up there, like you said, a whole bunch over the years. It's an excuse for me to get Wawa. It's an excuse for me to go home and get some good food. And it's always good to see you in person. So we look forward to that every February or March?
February and then in the spring. Have they invited you for this year?
I've not gotten the email. So.
Oh, well, they'll hear from me.
Well, thank you so much for everything. And have a great rest of your day. And have a great holiday.
All right, you too, guys. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Goodbye.